A media group is asking the Nigerian government to continue to find solutions to the insecurity challenges in the country. Journalists for United Nigeria says it is working to start programs that will allow Nigerians a platform to suggest solutions to its growing challenges.
The government to look into the underlying causes of these agitations beyond deploying force. We cannot successfully treat the cancer if we do not surgically address the root causes. We suggest that the government employ peace-building initiatives, dialogue where necessary, and hold out the olive branch where practicable. Journalists for United Nigeria is strictly non-partisan, not a pressure group or lobby group, but a think factory to connect minds into the media who are committed to a united Nigeria. We believe the media possesses some of the brightest minds. June is more or less a discussion forum for like-minded people. It is non-partisan. It is not pressure group. We have to restate that. It is a forum where journalists can converge to exchange ideas and opinions on how to strengthen national unity.
Well, joining us now to look at these issues is a public policy analyst, Bashir Ibrahim, and former governor of KWARA State, Abdulfatah Ahme, will be joining us from our off-site studio. Of course, both gentlemen, part of the members of this Abuja Roundtable. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. Now, talk to us about some of the key points in terms of maybe diagnosing what the real problems are in terms of what has, given rise to insecurity in Nigeria, not just in the northern part of the country, but across the country. And what are you preferring in terms of medium, maybe short-term and long-term solutions?
Well, the causes of insecurity in Nigeria, we can't even exhaust them here. But we do know for a fact that our economy has not been growing very well. A lot of young people don't have jobs. And we kept manufacturing children, and our population is growing exponentially, and the economy is not able to provide for this very large population. As you know, every one out of 6 Africans is a Nigerian. I look at this very small real estate called Nigeria and the large population that is in it. We have not been fortunate to have leaders that are very forward-looking in most cases, and therefore we end up with an economy and a country that is for the most part poorly led. And because of these reasons now, we now have a built-up momentum of so many bad things. And when you have a lot of young people that don't have, are not, employed in a manner that they will be able to express and vent out their energies, then what they do normally is they take to crime. Now, if this is true of Nigeria, it's even more true of northern Nigeria. As you know very well, our population in northern Nigeria is very large, and we are way, way, way behind in terms of Western education and in terms of actually teaching young people to be entrepreneurial.
Right.
And be able to cut out for themselves.
All right, let me just come in there, Bashir, if you'd allow me. Let's look at your objectives. What are your core objectives, what you will call the core objectives of this roundtable? I know that one of them is unity, but can you expand or expatiate more on that and the other objectives, and then how you aim to, for example, achieve particularly unity?
Well, unity is just our, it's our platform for pursuing other things. Because if you don't have a united people, you won't be able to achieve anything. So what we realize is that all these challenges will not be able to sort them out until we actually bring everybody together. And northern Nigeria has always been a diverse place. There is this fiction that we've all been monolithic all along, that it's only recently that differences are beginning to come out. But this is not true. We have been prolific in the way we express ourselves, and we have different opinions. But we must accept also over the past few years, cleavages have developed, whereby now people are suspicious of each other. There's a lot of second guessing and so on and so forth. So we thought, and also this harder farmer conflict has compounded this situation. So we thought that maybe the best thing to do is to first bring people together from all sorts of backgrounds.
But how do you hope to, achieve this bringing together of people? And when you say bringing people together, is it Nigerians everywhere, or are you focusing more on the northern part of the country?
Well, the Abuja Roundtable is the beginning of doing this. Okay. We are not claiming that we are the only platform that is trying to bring people together. What is happening is there's a proliferation of platforms, and the more, in all honesty, the merrier. But we're also doing our bit to bring everybody together. And it's not going to be easy, being that over a long period of time, cleavages have been allowed to develop and to fester and challenged. But we are doing it now. We will start it now. And once people come together, we also realize that much of the distrust and the conflict that is going on is from not talking to each other.
Okay, let me just ask you to hold it there, Bashir. Let's bring in the former governor of KWARA State, Abdulfatah Ahme. Glad to have you join us too. Let me straight out throw this question to you. You're talking about, this roundtable is talking about new initiatives, the question of quelling insecurity through new and private initiatives. Does it seem to you like Nigerians are beginning to see a need to take the bull by the horn and not just let this in the hands of what are government of the federal, the state, the local government level? What do you think?
Well, thank you very much for inviting me here. Looking at the current situation we have found ourselves in Nigeria, especially the current insecurity, most especially the upheavals going on in northern Nigeria, it stands out clearly that this cannot be left alone into the hands of government. It requires all hands to be on deck, most especially when we recognize the fact that the way and manner we've managed ourselves in the recent times have really caused the current problems we are faced with, especially in the issues of land management that has affected farmers and herders. So by and large, I think it's a collective responsibility, and this has really given birth to the Abuja Roundtable to see what it can put together to support government in ensuring that we have a much more peaceful environment that will engender growth of the economy. Thank you.
And okay, do we have time for one more point before we take this short break? Let's take a break. When we return, we'll continue this discussion.
Well, I'm glad to have you back. You're still watching Newsnet. We're still having the studios with us, in the studio with us rather, policy analyst Bashir Ibrahim and former governor of KWARA State, Abdulfatah Ahme. Gentlemen, glad to still know that you are here. I was asking Abdulfatah there, one wants to really know what are these new and private initiatives. One wants to get a hang on it. What are they that you talk about?
Well, what we would like to do is to look around. There are a lot of resources that are out there which the government is not tapping into. We know that there are more retired security personnel in the country than serving ones. And we'd like to look around and harness these resources. In every ward in Nigeria you go to, you'll find someone who has served in the services and who is now retired and who has a lot to offer, but who is not being utilized. So what we would like to do is to look around and find these people and bring them together to help organize their communities, even if the only role they will play is to be able to communicate and provide information to serving security forces so that we have a total picture of what's happening in every community. And we can even go beyond that with collaboration with the government and the security agencies. We can find out if we can even give people some basic training to hold on to, or to hold off attacks before the security forces come in. So there are a variety of things that we can do. But as we said, we're just beginning. I'm not even a security expert, but I have some ideas as to we can proceed. And these ideas have been discussed around the table.
All right, let's very quickly bring in former Governor Abdulfatah Ahme. Well, you have been former governor, now you're not. Without executive powers, how exactly do you hope to galvanize those people that you talk about and help the people in the communities and all of that? How do you hope to go about that? And Bashir here talked about poor leadership that's been part of the problem. Are you looking at helping the communities look at the way leadership is recruited at different levels, even up to the highest level?
We're looking at it from various perspectives. One of it is what you said, that is trying to relate with the various communities to see how we can foster a good relationship amongst the various ethnic differences, especially in cosmopolitan environments. And in rural environments, we try to define those areas that kept peace in the past and why they have left us now. We know that it's not unconnected with the issues of perceived equity, perceived injustice. But I think that part of what we're trying to look at also is bringing people to talk about those problems. Really talk about those areas where they feel perceived untreated well. And I think these are part of the things we'll begin to look at when it comes to the people. Now, on the issues of the military, we'll try to see how to combine this with all the efforts that the community leaders, traditional rulers, and of course, community opinion molders would also be involved. So it's an all-encompassing thing. It's a whole composite of everybody coming in together and really talking. It's not a government thing per se. It's going to serve largely more like an advisory support for government, because government has the machinery to carry out some of these things in real times. But of course, government is also quite receptive from what I see. Looking at the various responses we got from government and non-government players, we're sure that they're quite receptive to new ideas that will begin to make us see how to do things differently. By and large, there's nothing new we're trying to do. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but rather we're trying to look at those core areas, those core values that are supposed to be held dear to our hearts, to make us enjoy the benefits of unity and diversity. Those are some of the things we want to bring together. And of course, it takes us straight to leadership selection process. It tells us that whatever we've been doing in the past has not been working for us in the way it should. And we should reconsider the way and manner we've been selecting or electing leadership. I think these are all things that will be brought to the round table ultimately. But firstly, we want to begin to sensitize people in recognizing the need for us to come together as a people to enjoy the benefits of diversities, rather than seeing the differences and seeing the fault lines as areas that should call for division. These are some of the areas that we want to take very seriously. And I'm sure that most people, most Nigerians want to live in a peaceful environment. But because, the North is really hit now, that's why we're starting from Northern Nigeria. Ultimately, it's something that will take around the country, getting people to see things from this perspective of enjoying unity in diversity. I'm sure that it should resonate with a lot of our youths who today are almost seeming hopeless, but I want to tell them that there's a lot of hope, because the potential to make things work is higher than the potential not to make things work. So I think if we tap into that, we'll truly make a change, not only in the selection process, but engendering a proper system in Nigeria that will give us the guaranteed peace and a proper economic growth.
Fine. He's touched on, I was going to throw that question back to him, but he's touched on it. So I want you to touch more on that. The fact that, how do you envisage, or what do you envisage the government's response to this will be, or how should government respond to it? You know why I asked the question? Because in some quarters, our discussion was that when things like this come up, government seems to adopt a defensive approach, because they think it's a partisan or somebody is behind it. So how do you expect government to respond?
Well, we already know how government will respond to this because we've spoken to the government. We've spoken to key people in government and explained to them what we intend to do and how we intend to go about it. And the government has been extraordinarily supportive of this initiative. And as you know, the government is stretched out too thin. There are about 34 states in Nigeria in which one form of security operation, internal security operation or the other is taking place. And we have only so many of our security forces to do this. So government realizes that it needs these kinds of private citizen initiative, and it's very, very receptive to this idea.
Okay, let me quickly bring in Abdulfatah Ahme. Well, you talk about peace, unity, the need to engender, that sense of belonging in the communities. What's the stance of this Abuja Roundtable on the issue of amnesty for terrorists? Do you think it's one of the ways that this peace and unity can be brought about? What are your thoughts as the Abuja Roundtable? Is it something you've looked at?
Yes, it's something we've looked at, and I want to let you see the fact that the issue of terrorists can best be approached from both kinetic and non-kinetic perspectives. And of course, the kinetic perspectives are the ones carried on by the military in various posts they found themselves. For the issue of non-kinetics, part of it is trying to see how we can best reintegrate our young people who have been misled into carrying arms against the state. If there are ways by which we could get them reoriented into systems that will see them more meaningful on the economy side and also see the benefit of living in peace, why not? You see, the issue of integrating those who are integratable into the system should not be something we should throw away. We should look at all options. Don't forget that they are Nigerians, and unfortunately they've been misled to carry on whatever they're doing. If there are ways by which we make them see the reasons why they should stop that, for some of them who are not fully engaged in proper criminality, we should be able to bring those ones back. And of course, for the ones that are recalcitrant on the, on carrying on whatever they are doing, of course the kinetic portion will handle them. So I see it not really exactly the way a lot of people will think, that it might not be right to bring in those who have held arms against the state to be integrated. Well, if there are ways by which they could be integrated into the system and become more useful for the society, why not looking at those options? Because, like I said, most of them were led into it largely from wrong information that got into their heads. And we have a responsibility of ensuring that the right information gets out and well received, so that it begins to make them turn new leaves to moving Nigeria forward as a country.
I must say that Nigeria does need this new initiative from private angles. Thank you so much, former Governor of KWARA State, Abdulfatah Ahme, and of course the policy analyst Bashir Ibrahim, for being in the studio with us.
Thank you.